have no internet this morning. That's a great way to start the week, hey. It is Tuesday morning, but yesterday I was doing my day job stuff and also did a speech in front of people, which was a little bit terrifying, but also I think it went quite well. I've recorded it, so we'll see if it did go well, but I'm going to be editing that and putting it up on YouTube at some point. Also, I have the reprints of the Greek Goddess notebooks here. I've got a bunch of these and I want to restock my shop, but obviously I can't do that without internet either, so I better get that sorted. And a reprint of these as well, which are some of my most popular designs. Yeah, so I think before I do that, I might just do some drawing so I have achieved something and it's not just frustration, because I have a feeling that this whole internet thing is going to be very annoying. I can't show you much of it. Again, it's client work, but I will show you what I can and check in a bit later. Hi folks, if I look frazzled, it's because I am a bit. So the internet, it's just not working. I've had to work down here because it's working down in the house, but not up in my studio, and I can't get the jolly router thing to do what it's supposed to and have all the right buttons flashing. Hey Lyra, yeah, it's pretty frustrating. Aside from the general frustration, I have got the concept sent off, so that is a plus. And I'm just thinking, I haven't done any art recently, new stuff for my shop since the Greek Goddess stuff really, so I'd quite like to do some new designs to show on Instagram and, just sort of test out. The other thing I thought I might do is review some books very briefly for you. You're chewing that right in my ear, Lyra. I know, I'm right in your face. Ah! Should I do this in a separate video? This is the question. Should I do a separate video of my favourite books of the year so far? Or maybe I should leave it till halfway through the year? I don't know. I'm quite indecisive about this. Or just add it into one of these studio vlogs and do some mini reviews, which is what I was sort of planning on doing. I just finished listening to the audiobook of the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. And that was pretty awesome. It took me a long time to get into it, mostly because I got distracted by podcasts, but now I'm back into my reading. I've got a bunch of other books to read that I've already got on my Audible app, but I kind of just want to go and read the other two in this series. Is that bad, Lyra? Will you judge me? No, I think that's a no. It is very, very cleverly done. I really like her writing. It's a book that follows 3 female characters. They all are at different stages and different parts of this world where earthquakes are very common, and there are people, including these 3 women, who can influence earthquakes. I really want to see what she does next with these characters and where they go, because I'm quite attached to a few of them, so I might just need to download it and get started. It is Wednesday afternoon, 3:45. The internet is still not working. So I've got somebody coming to look at it tomorrow because I've spent so much time now looking up tutorials, and normally I'm not a very tech savvy person, but normally I can figure it out through using YouTube tutorials or whatever, but this time, no. In the meantime, I've got all these orders that have come through from the Greek Goddess notebooks, which I relaunched. I can't do them properly because all my gear is up in the studio. And I have to be down here to have the computer stuff on. I could do it on my mobile, or I could set up a hotspot, but honestly that has its own set of issues. So right now, I'm just hoping that I can get it sorted and I can just madly pack things tomorrow. That's me completely out of time for work today. I got a little bit done, but not that much. So now I've got to go and pick up Lyra and bring her back here. Then I'm off to do a drawing class. It's an advanced drawing class, just because I want to sort of upskill a bit. I did a figure painting class last term, and this is more drawing based because paints are kind of frustrating to me, especially as most of my stuff is digital. Hopefully this is less frustrating than the painting was, but the way this week is going, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm just gonna laugh. It's really all I can do at this point. Morning, folks. It is Thursday. The computer guy is coming very soon to sort out the Wi-Fi, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I thought I'd give you a little update on the stuff I was discussing last week in terms of productivity and social media at different times of the day. So far, pretty good. I think I've seen a drop in engagement on my Instagram posts a little bit, but that may be the algorithm as well, because a lot of people have been saying that's been an issue this week. But also I haven't been fixating on the numbers as much. So because I'm not checking it as often, it does mean that, you know, if I go back and check and see, oh, well, this post didn't do so well, but this post that I did the previous day actually has more likes than I thought, you know, it all sort of evens out a bit. So I think it's helpful to then look at it as a bigger picture thing. So this might be better going forward in that sense as well. Anyway, last night was this drawing class, and I will show you what I drew. It was all about gesture drawing, which isn't something I've done a lot of. But this is the kind of thing we were doing. These were some of the slightly longer ones. This was, again, slightly longer than the first one. And then this one here was the longest of all of them. I think this was about half an hour altogether. I can't remember exactly, but this started off in very much the same way as this did, and it's just sort of adding more detail. And I was working in normal pencil for this one, so I could rub out bits. I'm pretty pleased with how the hair turned out though. Usually I find hair super frustrating, but it turned out okay. This is not the kind of drawing I do much of anymore, if at all. I used to do a lot of it. It's quite nice to get back into pencils because I really like pencil as a medium, and it's nice to get off the iPad for once. While I'm waiting for the computer guy to arrive, I'm just going to show you this picture here. This is a drawing that I did a few years back. This is much more the kind of thing I used to do, where realism was the number one goal. My style has changed quite a lot. I have got some older pieces of art as well under my bed, actually. They are pieces from my year 11, 12 and 13 art portfolios. So that would be sort of when I was 15 to 18, I was doing those. So I think I'll show those at some point. All things going well, I'll be back up and running and super productive again, and it will be great. 2 hours later, we are back. Yes! It took quite a while for him to sort it out. Now I can get on with these orders, and wow, it is amazing what an enormous spanner in the works it is if your internet goes down. Alright, so my trip to the physio was rather in keeping with the theme of this week, which is things not going quite right, or, I mean, I think what happened was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen. But I just didn't react to it very well. So my physio suggested what is called dry needling, which is a little bit like acupuncture, where they put a needle into the tense muscle and it forces that muscle to relax. This was the weirdest sensation. I was really nervous about it to start with because I'm not good with needles. It was so bizarre. I can't quite describe it right, but it felt like the muscle was doing this, you know, sort of bucking, and it forces it to sort of spasm and then relax, at least as a theory. And now it's just achy. Apparently it'll be like that for a few days and then it should be better. But I didn't cope with this very well at the time. Like I said, not good with needles. And sorry, the crunching noise is Lyra eating a chew thing. Yeah, I was pretty tense at the time as it was happening, which probably didn't help the whole situation. I felt very, very dizzy, like I was going to keel over. I had to put my head between my knees. Yeah, I felt like a real sensitive snowflake. Hopefully tomorrow will be better and I can share that with you and be a little more positive.
Hello folks, we are back to the regular aesthetic, apart from the wheat bag, but I'm still feeling a little beaten up this morning. Not as bad as yesterday, and certainly not as bad as straight afterwards, but yeah, it's feeling a little bit like somebody punched me, but that's okay. I went out for a run this morning. Who would have thought? Lyra rather enjoyed it. She sort of looks at me as if to say, Holly, we're running? Oh, okay, I'm good with this. And then, you know, we get back and she looks at me like, is that it? And I'm dripping in sweat, red in the face, just, you know, knees are wobbling kind of thing. I'm not very good at running. I'm a swimmer, but somehow swimming seems so much easier. You know, I can get in the pool and I can swim, do 2 kilometers straight. I recover from that so much more quickly. My heart rate comes down so much more quickly. Running, I can do like the easiest, breeziest jog in anybody else's book, and I'm just exhausted. But yoga is great. I really like yoga. I'm terrible at yoga as well because I have zero flexibility, but you know, I feel like that's maybe improving and it's certainly helping to loosen things up. Yes, I would definitely recommend yoga even if you don't have any issues like this from working at a computer or being on devices, because I think so many of us do this now. It's so a part of our everyday lives. Getting to it before it becomes an issue is so important, and I wish I had started doing these kinds of things earlier on. Anyway, today is Friday, which I should have said at the beginning, and I have a list of things to do. The main things are packing orders, responding to some emails, and I've got a coaching session with Dina Rodriguez. Again, I've booked a series of these over the next few months. I've already had one with her and that was fantastic. Today we're going to focus on my website and what I can do to improve that. I certainly need to write some more information for publishers in particular, and I'm wondering about putting my starting price for indie authors on my website, just because I find I'm doing a lot of quoting for people who then come back to me and say, oh well, I can't afford that. So just setting that expectation to begin with, because otherwise it's a lot of time for me and it's time for the author as well to fill in the form, and it seems a bit of a waste. As I have mentioned in previous videos, I want to include more figures in my art. So I am working on a series of portraits of book characters and sort of doing them in such a way that they could be used for covers. But this is Mia Corvere from Nevernight, which is a book I listened to the audiobook of recently and absolutely loved. It's definitely going to be on my favorites of the year so far video. Sort of trying to incorporate more of that gold outline into the design. Again, treating it a little bit like an enamel pin design. By no means a masterpiece, but I feel like we're heading in a good direction with these. And the other thing that I've done as well is this piece here. So this is what I was working on a bit last night. And this is, actually I'll show you without all the leaves so you can actually see the figure there in the middle and then the leaves around. And obviously it's going to look a lot better than this because it will have color and all of that. But the idea with this is to create a piece, maybe do a series of these that might be used as pre-made covers. So I could upload these onto my site and people could purchase the art either exclusively or non-exclusively, and then I would update the title to match the title of their book and author name. So that's kind of the idea with that. Anyway, I had better get on with some of these emails and things. The internet is working. I've just tested it, so very happy. And I'll check in with you a bit later. The coaching session went well. Now I am just making some of the changes that Dina suggested for my website. I have a list and also recorded the conversation we had so that I can go back through and make sure I didn't miss anything. And then it'll probably be lunchtime and I might get on with some art. Alrighty, I think I've got the website pretty much sorted. This is very exciting. I've spent most of today on it, done a little bit of admin as well. So I'm feeling pretty up to date on that. I think tomorrow we'll be looking at the client work, but I won't be able to film that anyway, so I don't think that will be included in this vlog. But I'm glad you got to see some of my figure drawing artwork from my class, and yeah, that video that I talked about that I filmed at the beginning of the week, the talk that I did, that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. There's also one about self-publishing coming up, about how to create a book design brief. Pretty exciting. And yeah, we're gonna go off for a walk now and go up to the local cemetery because the autumn colours up there are absolutely stunning at the moment. Lyra loves it up there because there are sheep and she loves eating sheep poo. Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this vlog and want to see more shenanigans from Lyra and more arty content from me, then you can subscribe and also leave me a comment down below of what you enjoyed from this video, what you would like to see more of. I always want to sort of tailor it to what you guys get out of these, so that's always super helpful. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.